We are back on Morning Line. Our guest, Chief Investigative Reporter here at News Channel 5, Phil Williams. Good to have him on. Taking your calls and questions if you'd like to join us, 737-7587 on the Metro Schools controversy, what's happened to this point, where we go from there. Also, we're streaming live on Facebook at newschannel5.com if you'd like to share a question or comment there. And we've got next up is Leon. Leon, good morning. Hi, Leon.
Hey, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, sir. What's on your mind?
Yes, I wanted to ask about will they be doing any stories on the lead water that's in the school system? I got kids that go to the school, and I was wondering, there was never any stories done on Pedro Garcia or Jesse Register, and the same thing is going on with Sean Joseph. If it was a sexual harassment thing, the same thing was going on with Jesse Register and Pedro Garcia, and I never seen no expose or story. And I was just thinking it was a public hit job on Sean Joseph's character by News Channel 5. It seemed like y'all went out the way to try to make the man look bad.
Okay, so when you watched the stories then, right, sir? And you found absolutely no merit to any of the stories at all? You just felt it was all made up?
I didn't feel it was all made up, but I felt like it was going on before he came, and y'all used him as a scapegoat.
And you think that
if y'all didn't want to hire him, y'all shouldn't have hired him. Don't hire him just, to be a status quo.
Okay. Well, obviously, we're not the ones in charge of hiring him, but we touched on it. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, I mean, to say that we did not investigate Pedro Garcia or Jesse Register is just false. I mean, we did a year-long investigation of Dr. Garcia involving students being sexually abused, sexually molested on special education buses.
Yep, I remember the story.
And we dogged that, just story after story after story, because children were being harmed and the district wasn't doing anything to protect the children. Yep. What came out of that, there was a story where we went and tracked down the head of the school board and asked her, why are you not doing more to protect the children? As a result of that story, every single special education bus in this city today still has a bus monitor to protect kids from being sexually abused on the buses. That was an investigation of Dr. Garcia's tenure. Following that, we did a year-plus investigation of testing and grading practices under Dr. Register, where there were teachers being pressured to change grades, questionable testing practices to make it look like the schools were improving faster than they really were. And again, that was, Dr. Register, a white director of schools. If someone had come to us and said, all of these people are being sexually harassed and the district is ignoring those, I don't care who the director is. I don't care, man, woman, black, white, I don't care. Because, we did these stories because people came to us and said, we need help.
Right.
And so, I am always going to take up the cause of the people who are being abused by the system.
Yeah.
I don't care about who the director is.
Right. And I've heard, from where Leon stands, and I think Leon may be among those who was glad to see someone of African American in that position of power, and we talked about that. But I mean, Google it. As soon as I hear someone complaining about it and saying you never did anything for the others, it just tells me you're listening to someone else's rhetoric that has no idea what they're talking about. Google Phil Williams, Google Jesse Register, and use Channel 5, and you'll see all those stories, Leon. I mean, come on. You should have known that before you called us. It's obvious. It's all there. Same thing with Garcia. So that kind of hurts anything else you say when you don't know that.
Well,
it's patently false.
Well, and two things I want to say. And number one, people have also criticized us for doing stories about his Tahoe. Go back and look. We did stories about Metro County Clerk John Ariola and his Tahoe. I do think it's important to say, though, that racism is real.
Of course.
Racism is a real thing. Dr. Gentry, Sharon Gentry, the school board chair, made a comment at one of the meetings that something to the effect of, she can never forget that she is a black woman, because, it is hard for me to really be able to understand what it's like to experience racism. But racism is real, and so I understand why people might think that. I just ask that they look at my history. Look at the fact that I've investigated other schools directors. I've investigated other people for the very same thing. I mean, one of my specialties is investigating no-bid contracts. Go back to the Don Sundquist administration. Look at Bill Haslam's administrations. That's what I do. And it doesn't really matter who the official is.
Let's take a call from Taylor. Taylor, good morning. Hi, Taylor.
Good morning, Nick, and good morning to your outstanding reporter there. I think he's done a great job on this. And speaking of contracts, Ben Hall on his evening program had Dr. Joseph on a few months ago, trying to explain away some of the problems that had come up on those extra contracts, unbid contracts, I might add, from most of them were people that he previously knew. And it was just an atrocious explanation on each and everything he tried to explain. And in short, he made it such that, well, it was really up to him to decide the parameters. I mean, there were contracts that were written only after the job had been completed, and so the purpose was whatever had gotten done. That was it was just awful. But the mayor has really not served this community well in this particular process. When he gave his agitated news conference on this, he was really wanting to lambast the 3 board members that were trying to bring attention to the rest of the board some of these problems. His thoughts were, go with the majority and keep your mouth shut, and let's be unanimous, and keep any problems under wraps. So this is, as far as racism, half the school system are children of color. They are the victims in this entire thing, not Mr. Joseph, not the taxpayers of Davison County who are going to have to shell out this $261,000 plus, but children of all colors are being left out at the most important part of their lives. Thank you very much.
And you know, it's not just the children; it's also the employees, the teachers.
Right. Your town hall with those teachers was fascinating, and what they're dealing with.
And you know, it didn't really, you know, race wasn't a factor in that conversation because, you know, teachers are just really frustrated right now.
Oh, I understand. Phil, I'm wondering, as you documented a moment ago, covering various schools directors over the years, just from the outside looking in, is it that hard? I understand being a director of any schools of a district as big as Metro Davidson County is tough. But is it that hard, honestly, to find a director of schools that, is going to, he or she, have some bumps in the roads, but does things right? I mean, it's stunning to me when you look at the track record of the last 3 they've had in this district. Is it that hard to find someone that can just do it right? And like I said, there's always going to be bumps, but come on. How hard is it? And
you know, you would, if you had that conversation with the people on the school board, I think they would tell you that there are serious challenges with being an urban school system because
absolutely.
You know, they cannot turn away students. That they have lots and lots of, you know, immigrant students.
But I'm talking about basic stuff like maybe, hey, we got to put that contract out for bid. Duh. Or basic stuff like, oh, she's being sexually harassed. Better look into it. Duh. Or this kid's being molested. Let's look into it. Duh. I mean, I don't understand how hard it is to find someone to head up a district that sees these kinds of issues, very serious ones, and do something about it. How hard is it to find someone with integrity to do it right?
You know, there used to be a story and I'm going blank now, but there was some mayor who would drive around and would see a pothole cover up and would text Public Works and say, go fix this. I think one of the things perhaps this city needs to look for is someone who is very proactive, who will say, okay, at the first hint of a problem, we're going to just tackle that. We're going to swarm that issue. And that we just did not see that with this administration or previous administrations.
All right, we'll see what happens with the next one with our fingers crossed. Let's take a break. When we come back, we've got some comments from you for you on Facebook. We're streaming live at newschannel5.com. We've got some lines open, 737-7587. Our final segment with Chief Investigative Reporter here at News Channel 5, Phil Williams, right after this.